Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's John here. This is my first podcast, and baseball's underway, first week of the season, and I'm going to start off my preview with the American League, and we'll go division by division here to start things off here. This episode's going to be the American League, so, you can't predict this game. We're going to look back in September, October, and some things may be right, but a lot of these things are probably going to be incorrect. But it's always fun to make your predictions early on and see how you do. So let's start out with the American League Central with the defending world champion Kansas City Royals. Looking at this division, I just think this is Kansas City's division to lose once again. Bringing back Alex Gordon to the biggest contract in franchise history, 4 years, $72 million. I think was huge. I didn't expect them to be able to bring him back. I thought he was going to go elsewhere, but just the free agent market was slow to play out, and he ended up falling back to where team that drafted him in 2005, number 2 overall, and the place that he's spent his entire career and probably will be a Royal for his career. I know the fans are thrilled with that. Yes, you lose Ben Zobrist to free agency. Omar Infante actually looks pretty good the first couple of games at second base. And the bullpen, Wade Davis, Kelvin Herrera, Luke Hochevar, I think gets overlooked in this bullpen. It was really, really good in the postseason a year ago. Looking at a guy like bringing back Joakim Soria, guy who was with the team a couple of years ago, was saved 160 games when he was their closer. Had his second Tommy John surgery, went over to Texas, Detroit, Pittsburgh, and now he's back with KC, the team that gave him a shot. Lose Ryan Madson, Greg Hollins after the season is also a free agent. But I think the bullpen's going to be fine. You have guys like Dylan G and Chien-Ming Wang in the bullpen right now. Wang looked actually really good in spring training. He got his sinker up to 94, 95 is what I've read. Has yet to pitch in the game, but earned a spot in the bullpen. Danny Duffy is also in the bullpen as well. Right now, the left-hander there. And defensively, you got Gordon, like I said, Lorenzo Cain, Raymond Fuentes. I like it. He fits what the Royals do. I think he'll stick around when Gerard Dicey comes back. You'll probably see Terrence Gore get sent back down. Paul Orlando gets his first start here tonight. Mike Moustakas, Escobar at short, Infante at second, and Eric Hosmer at first. Salvador Perez behind the plate. 2 guys who have won Gold Gloves each of the last 3 years. And again, everyone says, "Oh, can the rotation hold up?" It is a question mark every year, but I just think this is the best team in this division, offensively, defensively, the bullpen. Yes, you need to get more innings out of your starters, but I think I just don't think this division is that great. I have Cleveland finishing second place because of their starting pitching. I think their pitching is excellent, from top to bottom. Corey Kluber, you got Carlos Carrasco. I think Danny Salazar is going to have a very big year this year. Trevor Bauer's in the bullpen right now. Kind of surprised there, but love Francisco Lindor at shortstop. He's going to be a stud for years to come. Michael Brantley, he comes back. I think he's going to really help this team if they can just stay, be okay without him. And when he comes back, he's going to help them out big time. And I like Bradley Zimmer to come up at some point this year and take over center field. But pitching is with them and Terry Francona. I think offensively this team is going to head down year last year, but I think they're going to not quite be in the mix for a wild card spot. I think KC wins this division by double-digit games last year. They won it by 12 games. But that's what I got with Cleveland. Minnesota, team surprised a lot of people last season. I have them in third place. You got Miguel Sano, love the bat. Right field, I don't know. Pitching wise, Irvin Santana looked pretty good last night against his former team. I like Jose Barrios. I don't think he has much left to prove in the minor leagues. I think if they bring him up, I think he'd be their best starter right off the bat. Starting pitching wise, there's some question marks there. I mean, I do have Kyle Gibson, a guy like Ricky Nolasco, who is pitching, I believe, is pitching tonight against the Royals. No, Tommy Malone is there. He's pitching tonight. Nolasco's tomorrow. But and their bullpen is okay. Joe Mauer has seen his better days behind him. He's never been a power guy, but at first base, I mean, he's not. I mean, you're not going to get a prototypical offensive production from him at first base. So that's why his value was what it was when he was behind the plate. Buxton, I love Byron Buxton. I remember him and Carlos Correa going, the top guy. I'll talk about Correa in a little bit. I think Buxton's going to take a little more time to develop at the big league level than Correa did. Correa just instantly became a superstar. But Buxton's going to be fantastic. I think it'll take a little bit more time for him, though. But I like this team. I think they're going to be around where they were last year, around 500. And that'll be good enough for third place. And then the last two teams for me, I really value chemistry. And Kansas City has shown that. Teams like San Francisco, Pittsburgh, St. Louis, you don't hear about, issues in the clubhouse. And with the White Sox, and they're up to a pretty good start. Matt Lato, so I mean, I was surprised he lasted as long as he did. He's still 28 years old. I mean, he's had some excellent years with San Diego and Cincinnati. Had a lost year last year, bouncing around with 3 different teams, but I think he can still do something. You love Sale, you love Carlos Rodon at the top. You got a guy like Carson Fulmer coming along. You love a guy like Todd Frazier in the clubhouse, but I just don't know what things with the clubhouse and chemistry. If they can't get that, it may be behind them already. I'm not I'm not in the clubhouse seeing what's going on. I just know what was reported out there, but it was a situation you never really seen. And if Chris Sale's not happy with whatever was going on, I don't know. But bottom line, I don't think either team is very good. I mean, you like the pitching, you love Jose Abreu. Brett Lawrie looks like he's going to be a good fit there at second. Made some nice play. Always a guy who's plays the game hard. Outfield, bring Austin Jackson. You got Adam Eaton. You got Melky Cabrera. They have some guys there. I didn't think you need to bring Austin Jackson. Eaton not in center field anymore. It looks kind of awkward, I guess. I don't know, but I don't view him as a corner guy. I view him as a center fielder. But I'm also not Robin Ventura, putting guys out there where they're playing. So, just my opinion there. And a team like Detroit, I mean, you bring in Justin Upton, you bring in Jordan Zimmerman, the only team to bring in 2 guys for $100 million or more this season. And this team was the last place team last year. I kind of think this team has seen they've seen their best days behind them. I think their window, I think it's past them. And I say that because, yes, Miguel Cabrera is one of the best hitters I'll probably ever watch hit in my life. I mean, he's unbelievable. But I know Tigers fans are not going to, worry about the contract. But this guy's going to have a contract. He's under team control until he's 2023, when he's 40 years old. It's just 20 to 30 million every year up until that point, and he's a first baseman. I mean, you could DH. I just don't think these things just don't work out long term, and I know they're not going to worry about that because they have the money to deal with that. But I just think Justin Upton strikes out more. He is very feast or famine. I think this team with Upton and Nick Castellanos, I just see, and again I go back to KC. They put the ball in play. Detroit strikes out too much for me. Pitching wise, Verlander had a better second half last season than he did the first half. But I don't know. Mike Pelfrey, you bring in on a 2-year, $16 million deal. Francisco Rodriguez, K-Rod, was introduced to the Tigers bullpen with his first game. He gave up 3 runs and blew the save, and they ends up winning the game. But I mean, and it's not a knock on K-Rod at all. I mean, this guy's had a fantastic career. And Angels, Mets, he really had some very good years up with Milwaukee, and still can get the job done. But it just, the Tigers bullpen, just something about the Tigers bullpen, guys just cannot. I don't know. It's an issue. It has been for years. When they've been in the playoffs, their bullpen has just cost them so many times. And watching them play against teams, it's just an issue for them. It has been for so long. And Mike Ilitch wants to win. He spends money. He wants to get guys in there. He wants to win a ring. I mean, I think they gotta patch up their bullpen. They brought in some guys this year. We'll see how it plays out. But there's just a couple question marks I have with this team. So we'll see. But in this division, I have Kansas City, Cleveland, Minnesota. I have Detroit, and then Chicago. I mean, those 2 teams, I think, could go either way. But that's just what I have in the American League Central. Let's speed things up here. Moving on to the AL East. I kind of think Toronto, this could be their last chance to really make a run with this thing, because you got Bautista and Encarnacion free agents at the end of the season. I love Marcus Stroman. I love him as a number 2 starter, even more than him being the number 1. He don't get me wrong, he's absolutely a number 1 starter. I just think their rotation is deeper with him behind a guy like David Price, who, let's face it, when Boston comes and throws $200+ million, and that's it, he's gone. And honestly, better off for Toronto, I think, at that price. But love Stroman, questionable after him, but I do think Aaron Sanchez had an excellent first start. If he can solidify that rotation with R.A. Dickey, Marco Estrada, that's going to go a long ways. In the bullpen, you got Drew Storen setting up Roberto Ozuna. You got Kevin Pillar in the outfield. You got Tulowitzki's first full year. Donaldson, the MVP. This is a very, very good team. Looking at them, and I think they're going to win this division again. Team that I think you can never count out, and Tampa Bay is one of those teams where you have pitching, and they have plenty of pitching, always have. You just can never count them out, and I just kind of think I'm not going to spoil awards or anything right now, because I'll do that in a future video. But I look at a guy like Chris Archer atop this rotation. He emerged a season ago. And you got Smiley back healthy. You got Matt Moore back healthy. You got Jake Odorizzi's there. You get Alex Cobb back later on in the season. That's pretty good. Kevin Kiermaier in center field is as good as they come. I love the Corey Dickerson move. I think you need some offense to protect Longoria. Who had a down year last year. I think he bounces back. I think Dickerson has a good year. Kiermaier, everyone loves his defense. This guy can hit. This guy can get on base. This guy can steal your bases. He's dynamic, and I really like him out there. I think this team, pitching, offense, I think they're going to be in the mix this season. I really, really think they're going to be in the mix. As far as our next team, we got Baltimore. For me, 500 ball club a season to go, and I kind of see them around there again this year. They spent a lot of money this offseason, but they spent a lot of it bringing back their own guys. Brought back Chris Davis, kept Darren O'Day. Weeders accepted the qualifying offer. Bringing in Pedro Alvarez with Chris Davis. You love Adam Jones. You love Manny Machado. Superstar players. Again, with strikeouts here, I think this is another team that strikes out a ton. Chris Davis, a couple years ago, hit below 200. But, I guess everyone pays for power, which, that's what teams do. Great defensive player, at first base, but I think he could have allotted that money a little better, but that's just what I think. I look at this rotation. It seems that I say it every year, but for them to take that next step, Kevin Gausman needs to emerge as the front of the rotation starter. You brought in Yovani Gallardo, but I don't really think he's an upgrade over Wei and Chen. You lost Chen, you bring in Gallardo. Okay, that kind of replaces that. To me, it's just kind of the same team. And the guy, Brad Brock, in that bullpen, 7th inning guy. Don't overlook him. Great guy, and he can for sure make a difference. I mean, those guys, and talking about guys in the bullpen, this is a great bullpen. Britton in the 9th, O'Day in the 8th, and Brock in the 7th. Short enough games. You don't need your starters to go deep in the games, but to me, it's just kind of the same team that we've seen last season. And the Yankees, I mean, if I told you how much money did the Yankees spend on Major League free agents this past offseason? Not one. They did not sign one. They spent 0 on free agents. And I applaud them for that. And I say that even though they lost the wild card game, they got overpowered by an Astros team. They made upgrades where they needed to upgrade, or go get a Royals. I mean, they didn't need a Royals Chapman, but they went out and got him anyway. And I applaud them. I really, really do. Starlin Castro at second base. So far, so good. Chapman, he's serving a suspension, but you put him with Betances and Miller at the back. I mean, that's just unfair. I mean, it will be unfair. They're taking the page out of the KC playbook. They're going to go to the bullpen, 6-inning game. That's it. And their rotation, I see some question marks. So Luis, I love Severino, Tanaka. I mean, everyone knows, the elbow issue is there. Every pitch he throws. Sabathia is making $25 million this year. He looked good in his first start, but it's just these big contracts that they gave out years ago, which worked in 2009 when they won the World Series. Sabathia, A-Rod, Teixeira, and you look at guys like Beltran and McCann and Ellsbury. Ellsbury hasn't been bad, but he's over 30 years old. He's got 6 years left, and he's a speed-first guy. To me, I don't see Teixeira. Teixeira was having a great year last year when he got hurt. A-Rod, is he going to hit 33 home runs this year again? I doubt it. To me, there's a lot of question marks in the rotation. And just age, it's there. And I think it was a good thing for them not to spend big on free agency, because that's kind of what got them in this situation. And I think they realize that, and they have a lot of young players coming up. Aaron Judge, Greg Bird, who out for the season, it's a tough loss. Jorge Mateo, Gary Sanchez, James Kaprielian, goes on and on. Guys like Ian Clark as well. The bullpen's great. I just don't know. I mean, they're gonna score runs in that ballpark. And again, I could be wrong. This division can go. Any of these 5 teams can come in first. Any of them, or most of them, can come in last. I just see too many questions with the Yankees. And for me, Boston, oh man. Well, I wasn't the biggest fan of the Pablo Sandoval and Hanley Ramirez signings from a season ago, and that I was right about. It looks like after year 1, Sandoval is coming off the bench now. They got Travis Shaw playing third base every day, and Hanley, well, he's from short to third, now left field, and now first base. So, they traded a ton, and they still have a very good system, but a ton for Craig Kimbrell. And I just don't know if they're going to get him a lead often enough. Price, great. Number 1 starter, bona fide ace, left-hander, $217 million for 7 years. He pitches every 5 days, and I just don't think the rest of this rotation is good enough. I just don't see it. I really don't see it. The outfield, you got Mookie Betts, Jackie Bradley Jr., Rosny Castillo. You love Bogarts. Ortiz seems like he can play forever, although he's not. Blake Swihart. There's young players here. I mean, their Salem team in the Carolina League Advanced Days stacked with Andrew Benintendi and Benintendi and drawing a blank, of course, now, but I mean, it is stacked, and their system is still excellent. I just really don't. I just don't honestly see it. I just don't think this team is going to be good enough. That's just my opinion. Like I said a moment ago, this division can go either way. Really 1 through 5. By the way, Benintendi, Yoan Moncada, and Rafael Devers there. Those three big guys in advanced day for Boston, one of the most loaded minor league teams in baseball this year. But I mean, that's what I have. 1 through 5, I have Toronto, Tampa, Baltimore, New York, Boston in the AL East. Now, out west, and we'll start out with the Houston Astros in a team that handled losing probably as good as you can. I mean, in a heartbreaking fashion for such a young team to lose the way they did a season ago to Kansas City in 6 outs away from advancing. And then Kansas City did what they did and just kept the line moving. And, won Game 4, the ALDS, won Game 5, went on to win the World Series. I think Houston is going to be very good this year. I mean, I love the Ken Giles trade. I mean, they gave up a lot, and I'm kind of surprised that he's not pitching the 9th inning. But I guess, the bullpen, just stack them up, whoever they line up. Their depth is what hurt them, not necessarily a guy who pitched the 9th. Gregerson's there, I'm sure he's going to, they trust him in that role, so they're going to have him there. Love Keuchel top this rotation, but I look at this rotation. You get Lance McCullers back. I think they stole, honestly, Doug Fister. I think they stole him. I really, really think they did. Kyle McHugh, okay, he's up and down, but solid. Love Correa. I mean, 2012 draft, I remember watching it. Number 1 overall pick. It was a stunner. He was there in the studio in Secaucus, and I mean, you could just tell this kid is going to be a superstar. And he came up, and he is a superstar. I mean, this kid is special. He is special. When him and Buxton was drafted right after him, and they were going back and forth. Everyone had Buxton number 1 prospect. Oh, how do you pass up Buxton? Well, they got Correa, saved the money there, and got McCullers. I'll take no disrespect to Buxton, but I'll sign for McCullers and Correa. Any day to get those two guys. Great player. And Correa and Altuve, the best middle infield already. You got Tyler White playing first base, looks good there. You got AJ Reed waiting. I mean, waiting right there as well. You got. I mean, it's just a good team. Rasmus went off in the playoffs last year. Guys like Preston Tucker, Carlos Gomez, Evan Gattis, DH. They do strike out a lot, but they walk a lot. They strike out, they mash, but they get on base as well, which is kind of rare. Pitching, I think, is good. Bullpen, I think, is improved. Texas Rangers, you get. Rougned Odor is a guy who I really do like. Rough start for Sean Tolleson the other day at the back end of that bullpen. You look at Cole Hamels. They did get Cole Hamels, I thought, for the future. But you got him and Darvish atop that rotation now. I mean, Jeff Bannis, what a phenomenal job he did a season ago to get this team. Won a division last year. They won this division and almost beat Toronto. What a game. That was a fantastic series. But Adrian Beltre is, I think, a Hall of Famer. Just keeps on going. Ian Desmond in left field. We'll see. That bat in that ballpark's going to play up. Mitch Moreland, I like at first base. Gets overlooked. Delino DeShields in center field. Very good player. Top the order. Guy who can steal the bases for you. Play defense out there in center field. Cover ground. Shin-Soo Choo. Probably not the best contract, but, looks like he's bouncing back there. Like this team. It's a team that I think gets overlooked a little bit. For Seattle, you love Felix. Jerry DiPuoto came in and just really redid this thing. Really tore this team apart. Really left his mark here. You're bringing Nate Carnes from Tampa. You're bringing Wade Miley from Boston. Leonis Martin from the Rangers. Adam Loon from the Brewers. You're bringing Nori Aoki to a 1-year deal. Hisashi Okuma has a deal with the Dodgers. That falls apart. You bring him back. Steve Cishek, and I think Cishek, I don't know what happened last year. I mean, he was steady. One of the more reliable relievers before last year. I don't know what happened exactly, but you got him, you got Joaquin Benoit in that bullpen. I think they have depth in the rotation. I mean, remember, they brought Carnes and Miley and, with Felix and Taijuan Walker and James Paxton. I thought it was going to be good a season ago, just did not work out for him there. They plan on going into the season without Iwakuma. Then they bring him back. The depth gets even better. Kyle Seager, Cano's off to a good start. I like Ketel Marte at short. Nelson Cruz, I mean, he's he hits wherever he goes. I'm not gonna help you out with the glove often, but that's not what they're paying him. They're paying him to swing and drive and runs, which is what he does there. This is a team. You look at him. I thought, and a lot of people liked them a lot of season ago. We'll see. I have them 3 right now, but we'll see. This division, a lot can happen. It's baseball. Anything can happen, but I think they're going to be in the middle of the pack in this division. Oakland, I just don't think Oakland's going to be very good this year, or the Angels, quite frankly. It would not surprise me if Ryan Madson ends up as the closer for Oakland. I like Henderson Alvarez signing. They got Sean Manaea for Ben Zobrist a season ago. I like that move there. But you love Sonny Gray, you love guys like Billy Burns, Josh Reich's a free agent. But it's the A's, either it works or it doesn't work, and we'll see. I just don't think it's going to work this year. And with the Angels, you love Mike Trout. You absolutely love the guy. I just kind of feel that he's going to waste out there. The best of his contract, I just don't think they're going to win. I look at this team, and it's not the same team from 2 years ago, but they won 98 games 2 years ago. And then they just didn't show up for really, Kansas City was the better team, and they won 85 games a season ago. I was honestly surprised when I saw that, because I just don't think this is a very good team. The farm system is not good at all. You bring Andrelton Simmons, okay, but your pitching is not great. Gary Richards, okay. Bullpen's not great. Jerry Weaver is throwing 80 to 82 miles an hour. I know this guy was never a power pitcher, but it's not going to work. Andrew Heaney, I don't know. I just don't think it's going to work out there. Glad to see G. Vitello get a shot at second base. Like guys like you got Trout in the outfield. It's Cole Calhoun is a good player. Pujols had a good year last year, but I just think they're kind of handcuffed with some of those contracts that they gave out, and I could be wrong, and I would love to be wrong, because I want to see Trout, win a World Series. The guy's unbelievable, but I just look at guys around this team, and I just don't see it. So I have Houston, Texas, Seattle, Oakland, and Los Angeles in the American League West. And so my American League postseason picture, and I'll do the entire playoffs in another episode, is I have the Kansas City Royals as the 1 seed. I have the Houston Astros as the 2 seed. I have the Toronto Blue Jays as the 3 seed. I have Texas as the 4 and Tampa Bay as the 5 as my 2 wildcard teams. So thank you, everybody, very much for listening to my first episode of the podcast, breaking down the American League. Next time I will be breaking down the National League, so I hope you guys enjoyed. And I will see you guys then. So enjoy baseball, everybody, because it's back and it's awesome.